Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Dr. Bob DeMarie. I just got to adjust the light properly here. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the Toxicity questionnaire, and there's just so much. So first, thanks for joining me this evening, and it's going to be, I love to see a lot of hearts, and I thank you all for coming in. This is going to be one of those type of nights that it'll be forever change you. Just let me just adjust this a little bit to take care of that background. Okay, here we go. So we've been posting every day, every month, new information, new quizzes. And this quiz that we're going to be talking about today is probably the most significant quiz out of all of the quizzes up to this date. It's the Toxicity questionnaire. And actually, it's going to be a review of some of the body signals. And what's really fascinating is I wrote an entire book about detoxification. And in one of my surveys that we have in the office, it's a toxicity weight loss questionnaire, and it's biocommunication testing. The main goal is to get and to learn about what is going on inside of a person's body. So I have a variety of props we want to talk to you about tonight. I would encourage you to go to our website. We have a toxicity questionnaire. We can always send you one. You could always go send an email to customercare@druglessdoctor.com, and we'd be happy to send one to you. I know that we have one in the book, Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Detoxification. So we basically have 15 different sections in the questionnaire. And in each section, there are really important nuggets that help me determine what we need to do to make a difference in your life. And the very first one is about digestion. See, our health begins and ends in the digestive tract. So if your digestive system is not functioning optimally, your whole body's not going to function optimally. So you really are what you digest, not only are what you consume, but what you digest. So some of the body signals, and I don't really want to be redundant about this, but it's diarrhea, constipation, nausea. Anytime that you have altered colon function, whether it be constipation or diarrhea, we know your body is not working optimally. And that's critical. You should have a normal bowel movement at least twice every day. You know, and for the good ones up there, we'll put a star in your forehead. You should have 3 bowel movements on a daily basis. Most people, I'm sure they're happy just with 1 a day, but 2 would be tremendous. A real interesting one is about bloating. Now, let's say you eat some food, and then immediately afterwards you have digestive distress. That usually tells me you don't have enough digestive enzymes. But let's just say that you eat a product, and you have bloating 2 or 3 hours later. This is a key. That's liver gallbladder distress. Now, I would be amiss if I didn't talk about some of my favorite props. This happens to be an oil filter. In the human body, the oil filter is right down here. It's your liver. The liver's the key. But the liver creates bile. Bile is your dish detergent that's stored in the gallbladder. When they take your gallbladder out, they take your Dawn soap out. But the point I want to make out of all of this is the fact, if you have bloating 2 or 3 hours after you eat, it's usually liver gallbladder distress. Important point, write it down. Digestive distress 2 or 3 hours after you eat. Sometimes you might have metal taste in your mouth. Those are body signals. Now, I have with me 2 of the most important foods for overall detoxification in the body. It's garlic. This is a shallot. This represents an onion. If you have digestive distress or bloating with an onion, it's usually liver gallbladder. The same with garlic. But they're important foods because those foods have sulfur. Heartburn and belching. You know, the Tagamet, Zantac, Prilosec industry is a massive industry. Massive. Those are called acid soppers. You might want to write that down. Sopper with an S-O-P-P-E-R-S. Acid soppers do just that. They stop acid in the body. When they stop that, your body does not have the ability to absorb nutrients and minerals. Heartburn, from my observation, is usually a lack of digestive enzymes. If you happen to be 40 years old or older, typically females, they lose a lot of digestive enzymes when they're 40 years old. That's why I don't promote citrus. Women in the 40-year-old age range that consume citrus could have fibromyalgia. So the first symptom group, toxicity questionnaire, which this is a review of, is digestion. You're going to want to go back and listen to what I mentioned. I think you'll find some interesting information. Let's talk about some of the body signals for your ears. Ears are itchy ears, earache, draining from the ear, ringing in the ear. Commonly, ringing in the ear, from my observation, is often low thyroid, but it could be a mineral need. Minerals are very, very important. Itchy ear sometimes could be a body signal of a yeast problem in your body. If you have a lot of wax in your ears, and people say, oh, my ears are full of wax. I just did a talk at one of the local health food stores, and I made a comment because we were talking about detoxification. Wax in the ears is a body signal your body is trying to dump toxins. Your body will do whatever it can to eliminate toxins, however it might be able to do. That's important, by the way, because people don't realize your ears are really, if there's a lot of wax, it's an excretory function of the ears, because that's how they do that. It's not coming just from your ears, it's from your body trying to get rid of toxins. So your ears are not the problem is you're toxic. Emotions, mood swings, anxiety, fear, anger, irritability, depression, sense of despair, apathy, lethargy. Once again, you can go to customercaredruglessdoctor.com. We'll send you a PDF on the toxicity questionnaire. I'll say those slowly again. Mood swings, anxiety, fear, nervousness, anger, depression, irritability, sense of despair, apathy, lethargy. I'm going to really focus on anger. Anger, because I have a degree in natural health, and when I was doing my studies, I took a class in Chinese medicine. The Chinese have emotions associated with organs, and the emotion associated with the liver is anger. That's so significant because, see, we have so many people today that have lots of anger, and their anger could be totally related to what's going on with their liver and the toxins in their body. So, you're driving down the road and you have somebody eating a fry and a burger and a soda, and they're shaking their fist at you. They got anger. Anger's liver. Liver is toxicity. Your liver is the key. There's a term called melancholy, and when you translate it from the Greek to the English, it is, going from the Greek to the English, it's black bile. You can get the PDF. Go to customercare@druglessdoctor.com and we'll email it to you. You could go to our website and navigate around. I know that the toxicity questionnaire and some of the information is there, and also Dr. Bob's Drug List Guide to Detoxification. I know in our practice, because I've been practicing since 1978 that is, there are so many people that have no hope. They're totally at a loss of what to do. And I believe it's a part of our success, because I just got off the phone with some people that we were able to take care of them today, service them properly. I drill down to find out what the cause of the problem is. So if you have somebody in your life that has a lot of anger, you really want them to go and find themselves, they need to have an x-ray of their abdomen. We take an AP lumbar, and we have digital x-rays in our practice. And if somebody has an enlarged liver, which is very common today, by the way, it'll show up. It'll show up on an x-ray. Non-alcoholic fatty livers is the new epidemic. Nobody's talking about it. And then one of the leading causes is fructose or fructose, high fructose corn syrup, and fruit. Okay, let's talk about energy. So we talked about digestion, we talked about ears, we talked about emotions. Let's talk about energy and activity when it comes to toxicity, okay? Fatigue. I tell you, people come in the office. I had a gentleman today goes, Dr. Bob, I just want more energy. I don't know what's going on. Give me a pill for the energy. And this gentleman just had double knee surgery in the last year, so his body is still going through the healing process. I said, hey, wait a minute. You got to slow down a little bit. Let your body, everybody wants to take something. Let your body do what it needs to do for healing. So we have restlessness, insomnia, startled awake at night. So when somebody comes in the office and they have issues with not sleeping well, their liver, your liver has so much to do with not sleeping. So I want to share a little nugget with you, okay? If you happen to be someone that can't drink coffee, let's just say it's 4 o'clock. So I drink Dr. Bob's coffee blend. I have it roasted because I drink organic, half calf, half decaf, hazelnut coffee that we have somebody roast for us. But if you happen to be the type of person that has caffeine and it keeps them up at night, it's not the caffeine. It's your liver. Your liver does not have the ability to process the caffeine. Okay, that's significant. Insomnia could be a body signal also of your liver not functioning optimally. There's a lot of reasons for insomnia. I could talk one program just on that alone. Let's talk about eyes and the whole toxicity. And if you have a question, I'm sure you could type it in. I'll do my very best to answer that. We just had someone ask the question about where the PDF is for the toxicity questionnaire. If you don't have one, we can send one to you. Just go to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. Send us an email. Just put in their toxicity questionnaire. We'll see to it that you get one. Eyes. Now, watery eyes, itchy eyes. But I want to talk about dark circles underneath the eyes. Dark circles underneath the eyes are definitely an issue when it comes to colon toxicity. I commonly see that in dairy and in wheat. Dark circles underneath the eyes. It's amazing how dark circles underneath the eyes will go away. I have a lady right now that's had sloughing on her hands. She was really in a harm's way. We started taking care of her in our practice, and one of the recommendations was for her to start doing a castor oil pack, which we talk about in the Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Detoxification and Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. Let me tell you, the castor oil pack is low budget, low tech. Whomever is watching this anywhere in the world, if you were to do the castor oil pack 1 time a week, that promotes optimal liver function, and that'll help get rid of those dark circles under your eyes. Dairy and gluten will cause dark circles under your eyes. Let's go on with the toxicity question. We're going to talk about headaches. There are so many causes for headaches. There's something called auto-intoxication. If you're not pooping, that is not good. If you're not pooping and you have a headache, chances are the body signal of that headache is coming from constipation, and your body is literally doing something which we call auto-intoxication. You're absorbing your own toxins. That's significant, all right? So if you have a chronic headache and you're not having a bowel movement, or you're consuming a lot of junk. I had a lady, I was in my office today, and she said, Dr. Bob, I had a tough weekend. I just ate things I normally don't and drank things I normally don't drink, and I don't feel good. She compromised function. It's compromising function. I'm not going to tell you I don't ever deviate, but I don't deviate at all compared to what I used to. So I know that some of you, you're on this wagon train and you're going around and around and around. Let me tell you, you'll learn sooner or later it's a lot easier to get off that wagon train. There's some things that you're consuming. So chronic headache could be toxicity, especially if you're not having a bowel movement, okay? Let's talk about these lungs. People don't realize that the lungs are a toxic relieving organ or gland. You breathe out carbon dioxide. You breathe out exhaust. Just like your lungs are the catalytic converter inside of your body. If you have a chronic lung problem, it could be due to adrenal gland stress, okay? It possibly could be that. But if you have a chronic lung problem, you're not having good bowel movements, the lungs are impacted from adrenal gland stress, but they're also an excretory organ. Now, I'm going to tell you something else about lungs. If you happen to have a large tummy, big old fat gut, and I'm not saying it to be unkind, that belly is pushing up on your lungs. Your lungs are compressing. It can affect your breathing. When I see these guys have these, we call it pendulous abdomens. They got these big old tummies. That fat is compressing lungs. And that, by the way, I joked about this on a TV program, and I was serious. We should start tattooing on men and women skull and crossbones because it's toxic. Those tummies are toxic. They're full of a lot of toxins. So let's talk about the mind and memory. You would not think of the mind being impacted by toxicity, but it is. Your brain's a very sensitive area of tissue in your body. Poor memory, confusion, poor concentration, poor coordination, difficulty in making decisions, stuttering, stammering, slurred speech, learning disabilities could all be signs that your body is in toxic overload. You know, I'm going to go back to the liver. The liver is the key for all the toxins in your body. The skin's an important organ. I had a little boy that came into my office today. He's in kindergarten, all day kindergarten. His liver was all the way down to his pelvis. I was talking to his grandmother. She happens to be the caretaker. She said he passionately loves junk food. We had an email that on our Ask Dr. Bob today of a child, an infant, that has gallstones. Dr. Anthony in the practice today had like a 2 or 3-year-old has gallstones. In my wildest dreams, I never would have thought that I'd be having people that are children and infants having gallstones. It's a body signal of too many toxins in the body. Let's talk about your mouth and your throat and coughing, a chronic cough. Usually your body's trying to expel toxins. If you're constantly spitting up, I'm professionally, but it'd be a hawker. You got like all this phlegm and junk that's in your body's trying to get rid of toxins, okay? Probably one of the areas that is most significant, and one of the marks here is canker sores. Canker sores are in your mouth. Cold sores are on the outside of your mouth. A canker sore is usually a body signal to me of toxicity in your gut. I want to throw this word out to you. It's called dysbiosis. D-Y-S-biosis. Dysbiosis, okay? Dysbiosis is it's the guts all haywire. And I know that I just read an article about glutamine helping improve that. Let's talk about the nose. People with a chronic stuffy nose are talking nasally. Their body's trying to dump stuff out. Sometimes it could be their sinuses, okay? But you're going to say, well, so Dr. Bob, what are you saying to me with all these body signals? See, every organ that I shared with you, those are the body signals that gland or organ is compromised. It's maxed out. So if you have chronic sinus problems, see, your body uses your mouth, your mind, your lungs, your head, your brain, your energy. All of those are a part of toxicity. So if you're exhausted, it could be the fact that your body is so toxic, it's trying to get rid of the toxins and all the energy. Instead of being used to propel you and have you for locomotion, it comes down to you're trying to get rid of the junk, okay? So anytime you're expelling anything from your body, that gland, especially your sinuses, so you have your sinuses, your nose, your throat, your ears, and your lungs, if those are expelling material, it's because those glands are doing their part. You know, this is a big old merry-go-round going around and around and around. And if they are expelling something, they're a part of the toxicity process. Here is the skin. Now, from my observation, you got the liver, you got the colon. But I'm going to tell you right now, if your skin has a lot of old acne scars, so if you're an adult right now, you have a lot of acne scars, your liver was compromised when you were probably a teen. I had a woman that came in today, 60-ish years old, having acne. And I looked at her and I said, so what's going on? She said, I don't know. It's got these pimples on my face. And I'm thinking, you know, a 63, 64-year-old woman should not be having pimples on her face. It's liver compromise. It's adult acne, onset acne, I see when people are like in their 30s years old. But if you're an adult and if you're 60 years old or older, you should not be having acne. Back off wheat products. Wheat itself eliminates zinc out of the body. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have teens, grandchildren have acne on their back, I'm going to tell you, it's pizza. Whoever would have thought it's pizza. But it's wheat. It's not wheat. Your wheat is taking the zinc out of your body, and zinc promotes healing. If you have large pores on your face, it's a body signal that you need zinc. Hair loss, low thyroid, could be a toxicity. Hives, usually an adrenal stress. Excessive sweating. I have so many people that sweat profusely. Sweating is your body trying to dump stuff out, but it also could be adrenal exhaustion. Heart, skipping beats. You got to understand something. Here's the liver. Don't you just love the liver? The blood has to flow through the liver on the way to your heart. If this liver is plugged up for whatever reason, especially fruit, if this liver is plugged up, you can have heart distress. And I know that for a fact because we use a tool in our office called the acoustic cardiogram, which measures heart sounds. Not to insult your intelligence, but the heart goes lub-dub. Well, what causes the lub-dub? Muscles cause the valve to close. So the valve is closing. What's causing it? B vitamins. What are the B vitamins doing? They're pulling the valves tight so they'll close. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, the heart. Here's the big one right here. Number 13, joints and muscles. So when I do the toxicity questionnaire for our practice members, so when you look at this, you're writing down numbers and you're tallying to see how you're doing. You don't want a number over 40. I think the worst I ever had was 180. I have a lot in their 20s. But joints and muscles, when I go to the toxicity questionnaire, number 13, and everyone in there is marked, it's always the liver. So when I do a toxicity questionnaire, 80% of the time, it's number 13, pain in the joints, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, stiff limited movement, pain, aches and muscles, recurrent back pain, feeling of weakness, tiredness. Any joint problem is always liver. The liver is the key to everything. But number one, digestion. So most people are toxic, have liver, joints, and digestion. Very significant. If you have a question, send it my way. I'll do my very best to answer it for you. Let's talk about weight. I have people that have a hard time losing weight. Like 60% of the people in the world right now, in America, USA, Western world, have an obesity issue. Binge eating, binge drinking, craving certain foods, especially sugar and chocolate. Excessive weight, compulsive eating. I'm beginning to understand, and I've kind of known this all along, and I'm sure that most of you would agree with me. I believe that the food manufacturers themselves are probably putting chemicals in our food, causing people to have addiction challenges. That means they start craving the food. You see, if you eat a food and it creates some kind of endorphin rush, your body's always craving that food to get that endorphin rush. So one man's passion's another man's poison. So that's why I primarily eat 95% of the time. I'm going to do organic. I don't even like to go out to eat dinner anymore. It's kind of interesting because I have this greens here in front of you, okay? Greens are important for bowel movements. So if you're not having a regular bowel movements, you need greens. But you want to eat organic greens. And I like romaine lettuce and I like kale. If you have a hard time losing weight, it could be your thyroid. Your thyroid needs your liver to be functioning optimally because that's where your body is in the process of making the whole T4 into T3. Let's go on with some others. Frequently sick, frequent or urgent urination, leaky bladder, genital itch or discharge. Genital itch or discharge could be yeast. So there are so many organs and glands in the body wrapping all this up. If you have a lot of skin problems, it's probably the fact that your body is toxic. Okay, Dr. Bob, where do I start? Well, I would start by eating at least a half a red apple every day, a third cup of beet fiber, and at least a medium carrot. Those foods are going to help your body start the process supporting liver function. Garlic and onions are sulfur-based foods. Your body needs sulfur-based foods for toxicity. And I do apologize, water. You're doing the body good by drinking water. Avoid as much soda as possible. If you're going to drink alcohol, organic wine is the best. If you're not responding to whatever's happening in your own life right now, have somebody take a film of your spine, look at your liver. If your liver's enlarged, you probably have a fatty liver. So this is Dr. Bob DeMaria. If you're watching this online, you can go to customer care, drugless doctor, send us an email, and we'll be happy to send you the PDF of the toxicity questionnaire. When you take the questionnaire, you don't want to have a number greater than 40. What I also want you to do is you turn the page over, and I want you to look at the chemicals that you're applying in your house. There was just an article in the Wall Street Journal. You could probably do a Google search on that. Health products and chemicals. Just because the product says all natural, I just read this very interesting article about sodium lauryl sulfate. It just says, sodium lauryl sulfate, if it's sourced from a natural source, it's not toxic. I'm not saying I'm not a chemist, but sodium lauryl sulfate is still sodium lauryl sulfate. So, do you have pets in the house? Do you walk on grass that's been sprayed? Do you put nail polish on that is toxic? What are you doing for coloring of your hair? What kind of products are you putting in your face? I'll leave you with this thought, because I could go with so many different thoughts. What kind of toothpaste are you using? People don't think about this. I want you to look at your toothpaste ingredients. You'd be appalled on what some of the natural toothpaste have inside of them. Go to our website, druglessdoctor.com. We found a great source of natural toothpaste. Nothing is bad in it. Whatever you're putting in your mouth goes directly inside of your body. Just remember that. Whatever you put on your skin when you're taking a shower goes directly in your body. So we've been doing breast thermographies in our practice right now, and I don't know who's going to be watching this anywhere in the world, but you could Google the Drugless Doctor and just drill down, because I have learned so much with breast thermography. I'll just pass this off. I have a minute or two left since I went on this side excursion here. With breast thermography, ladies and gentlemen, I've learned a lot. They're different than mammograms, and I'm not telling you should or you shouldn't get a mammogram, but what I've learned from breast thermography, what we have seen is we see a lot of lymph congestion. See, when somebody has cancer and they say the cancer spread to the lymph, the cancer did not spread to the lymph. The lymph glands are already congested. How do I know? Because I started doing breast thermographies. I had a doctor come in. We're doing thermographies in our practice right now. You could fly in if you want to. What causes the lymph to get congested? A plugged up liver. What do? You bounce on a ball, you drink water, you stay away from dairy. Yogurt, ice cream will stop up the lymphatic system. You'll want to do the castor oil pack. Stay tuned. We're going to write a research article on breast thermography, and it's going to make a huge difference in ladies' lives. I'll be releasing a book this year on preventing surgery. It's going to be Dr. Bob's Guide to Prevent Surgery. Thanks for all the info. Really appreciate taking the time to teach us. Thank you, and I'll see you all along the way. See you next time.